Right, we're now joined via Skype by National Schools Governing Body General Secretary Matakanye Matakanye. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. Always a pleasure having you here on SABC News.
Thank you very much, Flo. Good day, and all your listeners.
Just as a start, I mean, it being World Teachers' Day today, it would be ordinarily a time to, I suppose, celebrate our teachers. However, this has been quite a difficult year for teachers, and I mean worldwide, really, with us having to deal with COVID-19. Can you talk to us about some of the biggest challenges that, teachers have had to kind of face this year, as, of course, teaching methods have had to change, and a lot that they're not used to, that none of us are actually used to, have had to kind of get used to things that we don't know?
Thank you once again, Flo. Our deepest condolences goes to all the families in South Africa who lost their loved ones, specifically the teachers, particularly on this day that belongs to them. This is the day that they're supposed to be celebrating together, and they are celebrating without their loved ones, without their colleagues, and we are saying we really support you. We are behind you all the way. Your difficulties are our difficulties. Now, as you asked, Flo, what are the difficulties that teachers are facing? Is that, when we talk of the new normal, then we do not leave the technology behind. Then teachers were, some of them who were born before technology, were still really struggling to cope with how to use these equipments. Now, the advent of this coronavirus, then teachers are really forced to use those equipments. Now, it is really difficult because it is not at their pace, it is at the pace of coronavirus. Not only that, always teaching, fearing that I may contract this dangerous illness in front of the children, and they really are not themselves. That's one other difficulty. The other difficulty is that always they must ensure that now they are insulated. If then one way or another as a human being could forget to insulate himself or herself, then he may not able to sleep on that day to say, really, this is the mistake that I've done, and I could have contracted this illness. And another is other schools, you'll know that the teachers, then there's another struggle. And also, teachers are yearning to be seen really teaching their children, but they don't, because at times they see their children once after 5 weeks, and teachers are really worried about that, and this is really a problem of the nation, and it is not really the problem. I think the work, it is very, very, very dangerous. They are no more really, as teachers, relating well with their friends, relating well with their children, relating well with their colleagues in the school. The manner in which they must really greet is different. So it is always, every time, careful, and that environment does not really allow them to be as careful as possible, so that you can't even interact with the children, with the colleagues, with the friend as you used to be. It's also a very terrible thing. And then when they go back home, they always suspect that now they could not really affect their children. I mean, their beloved families at home. So it's a terrible challenge that face teachers.
All right. And I mean, with challenges, there's often, an opportunity to see the possibilities, perhaps innovative ways of doing things differently. I'm sure you've heard in Tate Matakanye, we keep hearing this phrase, the new normal. And I'm sure there are some teachers, though, who are perhaps finding opportunities. They've identified different ways of doing things to maybe even improve on things in the past that they'd been doing. And I wonder if perhaps we can kind of celebrate that too, where we've had teachers who are trying their best really under these circumstances that you've just spoken about to carry on and maybe even in some instances improve the teaching methods of the past.
It is true that although change is very difficult, but you see, I think provinces like Gauteng are celebrating, and are celebrating in the sense that you'll remember 2 years, 3 years back, the MEC in this province brought a concept that says he wants a paperless class. He started introducing this technology in the school, and I think they are celebrating because they are just improving there and there. But it is really difficult in other provinces. However, there is no way that they could avoid this now. It forces them. It also makes the government to ensure that when they make budget, then they budget seriously for those equipments. They budget seriously for the training of teachers. They budget seriously for the training even of the school governing body, everybody who works in the school, so that now this new normal in years to come is no more a numerous than normal, because some provinces and some countries already have gone there. You will have seen that we have been always saying children who are going to suffer most are the children that comes from the township, the children that comes from the rural, the deep rural, the poor, the poorest, the working class. But children who comes from the middle class, they have been going to school since the 18th of March to date. So they missed nothing because they've been there when this thing started. So we are just saying, really, as you said, it's an opportunity. It's really opportunities for us all, so that now the government makes sure that now they train the teachers, they provide enough resources, so that now it is not only Gauteng province that go to a paperless class. All of our provinces, by next year, they must have started now having a paperless classes.
Yeah, and just in closing, Tate Matakanye, what is your message today for the national school, from the national schools governing body for our teachers, especially the ones who do indeed try to go above and beyond for our children, for our learners today? What is your message?
My message is that a teacher cannot be removed from his or her child. If I am a teacher, then my child comes back home and says, this is what my teacher says. It could be wrong, it could be right. And as a parent, being a teacher, and say to this child, no, this is wrong, your teacher is wrong. Then this child will say, no, you are wrong as a father or as a mother. The teacher is right. So I want to say, teachers, you are next to God, if not God, because the children believe in you. Do the best you can, because it says, if you make a damage, that damage is irreparable damage. So you can see that now you are really good, because you are able to start these children how to write, how to walk, how to behave, how to do things, how to count, how to read, until they become doctors, they become journalists, they become nurses, they become what? It is through you, teachers. And we are saying, continue, you have got our support. where you need support, is just a phone call. National Association of School Government Body, help us. We shall come running and help you, because we know the work that you are doing is of God. Thank you.
Thank you, Ntate Matakanye. Always a pleasure having you with us here on SABC News.